Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Diana if you are new here, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 17. So I am so excited to film today's video because I am sharing 5 books that you need to read like today, right now, before 2021, which is in a few weeks. I don't know if you'll be able to get through all of these, but you can start them now and finish them hopefully soon. And also, these would be amazing holiday gifts for all the readers in your life or just anybody in your life. Like, these are amazing books. I literally have philosophy, I have self-help, I have more self-help, but like about writing too, and then I have a glorious fiction book, and then I have real help. To kick things off, I want to talk about the fiction book because I was actually going to include like 4 to 5 fiction books, but then I was like, okay, let's do one fiction book, let's do more self-improvement, writing, blah blah blah, and then if you guys like this, then we can make more videos like this with more fiction books included. So okay, I read Verity by Colleen Hoover twice already in the last, I want to say month, maybe month and a half. Verity is this book, no freaking words. When I finished reading this book, my drive for writing fiction was reignited because of how good this freaking book is. And it's just, okay, so you start reading it and you're just like, meh. It's like, it hooks you right away, but you're just like, okay, like, I'm not like seeing the thriller / suspense of this. But then the ending, you're just like, like, what? How, what are you talking about? Like, you will literally want to personally call Colleen Hoover and be like, what is this? Like, that's how good this book is. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. So Verity is about this author, which right off the bat, I'm a fan, living in New York City. Her name is Lowen, and she's kind of struggling, like financially struggling. She's about to be evicted. She has no inspiration for her writing. She's just kind of not feeling it, okay? Her agent gets a meeting for her with like a quote-unquote potential job offer, right? And she's like, all right, I'll go. And she goes, and this meeting freaking knocks her off her feet. Basically, the job offer is to finish the series that is written by Verity, who is an incredibly famous author who is like incapable of writing her novels because she was in a serious accident and now she can't work. So basically they want her to co-write it. So her husband is like, hey, you know, you're welcome to come to our house. Verity has a ton of notes and outlines for her, you know, the rest of the novels and blah blah blah. And what's it called, Lowen is like, yeah, I'll think about, can I come on Sunday, because she's gonna get evicted, so she has to go. So she goes, and it just like gives her all of this insight to all of this crazy stuff that has actually been going on in the family. And you know what, I'm just gonna end it off there because I'm not trying to spoil anything. This book is incredible and you have to read it, and I'm not going to give the ending away, or actually I'm not going to give any of it away, because then you're not going to be inclined to read it. You have to read this book. This book is sexy. Like, I probably would not want my sisters to read it. So Victoria and Sonia, if you're watching this, you can't read it. Not yet, because you're not old enough. But for instance, Mom, if you're watching this book is amazing. Highly recommend this book to anyone. It's amazing, it's sexy, it's like suspenseful, and the ending is just, there are parts in this book where I was sitting on the couch right there and I was like, what the is going on? Like, no way is this possible. And I had to keep reminding myself, like, Diana, calm down. This is fiction. This is not real. This did not happen. And I'm like, this is insane. Anyways, highly recommend Verity by Colleen Hoover. Next, we have, let's do Stephen King. I freaking love Stephen King. This book saved me at the beginning of quarantine. This was the book that I grabbed, and it was just, it inspired my, no, it reignited my passion for writing. It kind of, and it inspired me too, because hearing his story about how he started, how many rejections he got, and all of that stuff, it was just so inspirational, and it made me just think, like, wow, if this person, this freaking successful ass writer can get through all of this rejection and the struggle, then me, an aspiring writer, can get through it too. He starts off by talking about his history and like his past, and how he started writing like stories for people and all of this stuff. He also shares his story about how he put like a nail in the wall in his bedroom, and every rejection letter he was putting it on there as inspiration or motivation for him to keep going. And I just thought that was amazing. Anyways, I highly recommend picking up this book, especially if you're an aspiring writer. This book is amazing. Or if you're just somebody who's struggling and you need to get some motivation. Highly recommend. Next, we have Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. So Steven Pressfield also wrote The War of Art, which is a freaking must read. Highly recommend that book. That book changed my life. This book double changed my life. This book can relate to anybody in any career. Basically, it's more so about the amateur self, the amateur that's within you, and looking at that amateur in the eye and saying, enough is enough. Like, I'm done. I'm ready to turn pro. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, you know, like, unleash my fullest potential and just freaking get the job done. One thing that I learned in this book that really stuck with me is about how a lot of people have shadow careers, meaning that we do these things or we get these jobs that, you know, pay the bills and pay for rent and just like whatever, we do them and we do them pretty good, but we are sacrificing our true and authentic selves. We're sacrificing our real dreams. And the way that you know that is, like, how do you feel at the end of the day? Do you feel satisfied? Do you feel fulfilled? Or do you kind of come home feeling empty and miserable and like you're missing out on things? This book is extremely short. It's very poetic, and it's going to make you tap into parts of yourself that you never even thought were there. You're gonna feel so powerful when you read it, and honestly, you're just gonna have to read it. Okay, next I wanted to talk about Real Help. This book is written by, I always get his name wrong, Ayodeji Awosika. Okay, you know what? I probably got it wrong. Either way, I'll link this below in the description box. This book is incredible. This book, I feel that in a way it kind of reminds me of Turning Pro, because the way that Ayo always talks, he really just, he's not a soft guy. He's not a soft writer. He's the type of person that tells you what you don't want to hear. Anytime that I read his writing, I always feel like I'm getting slapped in the face, because it's just, instead of being coddled, I'm just being told, like, Diana, get your shit together. You want a good life? Then you're gonna have to work for it. That's what you're gonna get from this book, but better, because he breaks it down for you. He breaks success down for you. He makes you understand how, why, when, where. I don't know. He's definitely one of my favorite writers that I've come across, and the approach that he takes, while it's different, it's so powerful. You're going to get so much out of reading this book, and I don't know, I feel like I've read this book twice now, and every time I read it I get something new out of it, so I highly recommend it. This book is not that fluffy lovey-dovey shit that you're gonna get. This is gonna be the real stuff that you need if you actually want to succeed. Last but not least, we're gonna be talking about this little book right here. I've showed it on my channel probably a few times at this point. It's called The Way to Love by Anthony Demello. This book is so beautiful. I've gotten into philosophy very recently, and I've posted a couple of pages on my channel, and a lot of people have actually resonated with it. I like to read this book before bed. It's incredibly thought-provoking. Sometimes I'll read it in the morning, and I just have this like feeling inside of me where I feel very empowered and very understood. Like Io, Anthony Demello also is very so to the point. He kind of like, he tells it to you straight, honestly. The great thing about this book is that Anthony Demello really understands the psychology of humans. He understands how they think. He understands how you think. And I don't know. I don't think there's any greater feeling than reading a book and feeling like the author understands you. And every time I read this book, and I feel like I've read it a few times already at this point, I'm like, this is exactly how I feel, or this is what I've been thinking, or this is my thought process. Like, that's literally how I feel with this book. I feel like it's really gonna resonate with anybody who reads it. This is one of my favorite lines from his book. I'm gonna read it to you. I leave you free to be yourself, to think your thoughts, indulge your tastes, follow your inclinations, behave in ways that you decide are to your liking. I feel like he kind of takes you on this journey to discover how to truly love someone and what it truly means to love in a very pure and raw and authentic form. I highly recommend this book, and it's pocket sized, so you can definitely fit it into your stocking. Anyways, that will conclude today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, and I'll be seeing you in tomorrow's Vlogmas. I will link all of these books in the description box below, so if you're interested, feel free to snag them up.